Hey everyone, it's Norm Ferrara, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing the future of marketing. What are the four major forces shifting marketing landscape? How do you build trust when nobody trusts you? And what is the right way to use AI in your marketing campaigns? So, welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with
All right. You know what? One thing you should do when you have a podcast is put it on Do Not Disturb. And I'm talking about your iPhone. I just got a call, but that's nothing new. All right. Like I said, today we are talking about the future of marketing. But before you do anything, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, give a thumbs up, and share this episode. And maybe ring that bell. Okay. Our guest is the founder of Copy Posse. Alex has helped over 500,000 copywriters and entrepreneurs from around the world ignite their business with her fun and empathetic approach for branding, marketing, and copywriting. Since launching the Copy Posse in 2020, Alex has been featured in Forums, Mid-Valley, and in Founder. She is a 5-time speaker at AdWorld, was crowned 2022 Marketer of the Year by Digital Marketer, and voted the #1 most popular copywriter in 2023, and received the Game Changer Award at the Women Inspiration Awards in 2024. Please welcome, almost welcome, Alex Cattoni. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor. Hey, Amazon sellers, are you leaving money on the table with Amazon? Well, TrueOps is here to help you reclaim every last cent you're owed. Over 1,400 brands have already recouped millions with TrueOps cutting-edge technology. Finding reimbursements others may have missed. And guess what? You only pay 10% commission, no more overpaying the industry standard of 25%. Plus, the first $1,000 in reimbursements is free to you. Here's the best part. TrueOps doesn't get paid unless you do. If Amazon ever reverses a claim, TrueOps automatically credits your fees back to you. Now that's peace of mind. Remember, $1,000 free reimbursements to start, then just 10% of successfully recovered funds. You have nothing to lose but the 3 minutes it takes to sign up for a free audit and so much more to gain. Sign up with the link in the description and start reclaiming what's rightfully yours. And we're back. Where is Kelsey?
Hello. How are you?
Good. Geez, that was quick, Kels.
All right. Yeah.
I recorded that pretty late last night.
I was busy last night.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
all right. So what's happening? We got the newsletter out.
Yes. So if you are interested in subscribing to our newsletter, please sign up at lwn.news. It features a weekly story from Norm and a bunch of Amazon e-commerce tips every week, and the podcast catch up. So if you missed an episode, you can catch up on all the takeaways, what we learned, and anything we discussed in the newsletter. And that's lwn.news. I also want to do a quick shout out to Cool Hand 99. We've got Steve joining us, Marina. Good to see everyone. We're going to be talking about the future of marketing. And it's going to be a great episode. And we have a great giveaway too. So stick around to find out more.
Okay. So, this is my first week back from the big smoke. So my voice is still a little raspy, but I'll try to get through this.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you're even talking right now with all the cigars you've been smoking.
There's just a few, 4 a day, 3 a day.
Is there any updates you want to talk about with the beta program?
Yeah, so we've got a ton of people that have applied for the beta program with Kevin King and myself. And I believe this week by Friday, I should get down to the short list and we'll be contacting everybody. Now, here's what happens. We're going to get to the short list and then we're going to contact the people that have not necessarily one, but the people that we're going to be taking a serious look at, tell them exactly what's going on, and then we'll move to the next the next step. So the people that aren't chosen, don't worry about it. We'll also follow up with you just to let you know what's going on. But since this is beta, we just wanted a few interesting brands to work with to see what Kevin and I can do to help out your brands. So over a probably it's probably a 2 or 3 month time period that we'll be working on your account, and not necessarily us directly, but our teams will be. But what you'll be doing is having access to some new things that we're doing with the new company, and then we'll move forward. And hopefully, whoever is in the beta program, we can really change up your listing. So, and not just for Amazon. This is if you wanted to get into Walmart, maybe some retail stuff. There's a whole bunch of things that we're doing. The whole Dragonfish layout, very complex. There's 5 divisions to it and multiple divisions within that. So we'll let the cat out of the bag a little bit later on. But for the short list, they'll know next week exactly who you are and what we're doing, and if you want to take part in it. But that's it. So I think that's it for now, Kels.
That's right. I also want to just say a quick hello to Jessica, all the way from Guelph. Happy Wednesday. Guelph is actually where I went to university, so very close by.
Yeah, I went to all those bars.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it's time to get started here. If you have any comments, and we already got a bunch of people listening, so if you got any comments or questions, throw them in the comments section, and sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, enjoy this episode, and welcome Alex.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Very good. So did you have the same interior designer as Kelsey, or what's happening there?
It's dark and moody in here. My only one wall is painted black. But yeah, I like a good moody wall, you know?
I used to have a programmer, a coder that used to come and work right out of our basement, and I swear you could grow mushrooms there. She liked it dark and yeah, dark and damp and
Dark and
literally
damp.
where you
Well,
can
I
grow
live in
mushrooms.
Vancouver and it is very dark and damp here right now, so that's on brand.
Are you in Vancouver?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So 3 hours time difference. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I did not know that. Unfortunately, it's live, so we couldn't even change the time. But I'm really interested in talking to you. We were trying to figure out who the heck passed on your name, and
I figured it out.
Who?
Ashley Armstrong.
That's who it was. Ashley. Yes. So, and by the way, if you haven't heard Ashley's podcast with me on Marketing Misfit, or not on Marketing Misfits, on Lunch with Norm, it's great. Ashley's always awesome to listen to. But if you want to hear even a better podcast, because she digs right into marketing, plus we have kind of a conversation with Kevin King and myself, Marketing Misfits is definitely a podcast that you want to listen to. It's been released. So, Kelsey, I don't know if you could throw that over on the comment section for people to listen to. Ashley's awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now that you figured that out, why don't we just dig into this a little bit? We ran a little late today. So let's start off with these 4 major forces shifting the marketing landscape. What are they?
What are the 4 forces? Yeah, so I've been in marketing for 15 years. So I have seen a lot change over the last decade and a half when it comes to online marketing and offers. And I think it's really important, you know, as we go into the new year, especially to think about what are forces that are affecting the way that we show up for our communities, the way we sell products and services, and what's shifting for everybody. Because I think oftentimes we think, oh my gosh, is this just happening to me? Am I the only one that's not getting it? And so the first force that I see just happening and is more prevalent now than ever before is that mistrust in advertising is on the rise, which is probably no real surprise to any of us when we think about, the algorithm changes, spammers, scammers, impersonators. I know I get like 1 million spam texts every single day and spam calls every single day. The internet is quickly becoming a place of frustration for a ton of customers and content creators, if that's something that you do in your business. And that doesn't even count the like data leaks and the breaches and the sheer bombardment of ad messaging with contradictory statements and the influx of AI generated content everywhere, deep fakes. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Our audiences and our customers are getting savvier than ever before, but they're also getting more skeptical than ever before because it's like they get it now, right? Like they know that when you say, you'll never see this again, that chances are they might see it again, right? So people are just
maybe
kind of
next day.
Yeah, maybe the next day, right? And so they're just kind of looking through everything with this lens of like, is this really legit? In fact, a recent study showed that 69% of people distrust brand advertising, which is why so many business owners and e-com brands are turning to UGC because people trust other people more than they trust brands. But it's a growing problem with 43% of people saying that they actually distrust brand advertising more than they used to. And so when we think about that as just a baseline, it really shifts the way we need to approach our marketing, knowing that absolutely everything we do is being scrutinized. It used to be that you made an offer and people just took it at face value.
Right.
Now you make an offer, and before you can convince them why your offer is the right offer for them, you need to convince them why they shouldn't count you out, which adds in this whole other layer of trust building and marketing, which is an uphill battle for a ton of businesses. So that is the first marketing force that we all need to keep in mind.
Okay. Now, that's interesting that you started off with this, because even with UGC, right now, people are trusting that. You see a creator and you go, oh, okay,
Right.
I follow this person. It's got to be trustworthy, right? But how many creators right now, and when is it going to be when you look at a creator and you get the same untrust because you're getting paid? And there's a lot of creators. Give me $500 to promote this coffee mug and I'm taking the money. If it's a bad coffee mug or
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And so I think it's just a amount of time before we start to see that percentage of untrust start to build. What do you think about that?
I 100% agree. And now with AI avatars and things like that, I mean, it's shocking to me. I'll see a video online, which is clearly AI, like clearly. And I'm looking at the comments and I'm like, people don't know this is AI. And then of course you got the occasional person saying, this is AI, like, but I'm like, wow, that's scary. Like the sheer ease it is now and will be to create and recommend products through either, influencers, which it already is. And like you said, a lot of them, their only path to monetization is brand sponsorship. So they're taking everything and anything. And then secondly, it's going to be so easy to just get an AI video of someone who looks real recommending your product. And that's where it gets really scary to me, because it's like you can have that person say anything. And I think in the short term, people will see some wins from that. And then I think in the very, near future after that, it's going to be trust is the most valuable currency we have in marketing after attention. And I feel like if businesses aren't doing what they can to protect that and vocalize how they're protecting their consumers and how they're creating trust, then it really is like an ongoing uphill battle, and it's going to be a hard one to win.
Yeah, and just on another point with well, I think it's I'm not going down a different rabbit hole, but I get these emails now or messages from LinkedIn or Facebook, and it's somebody who wants to do business, and it's
Yeah.
perfect English. All of a sudden, I am bombarded with perfectly written. I know that they're AI for the most part, but from India, Pakistan, and we have a lot of contractors that we work with in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Philippines, but it's perfect English. And what ticks me off is once I start to communicate with them, they can't speak a word of English. And this is for content creation, or this is for, it could be anything, podcasts where you have to write the notes and you have to write everything. And you're thinking, okay, it sounds like somebody's good. And then you find out that they can't speak a word of English. They just used AI. And
Right.
that is so frustrating when you're trying to cut through and find a good contractor nowadays.
Yeah. And what's tricky about that is, there's a lot of incredible contractors in places like India and Pakistan whose English is great, and they just might not have the grammar or the spelling or some things that are easily fixed by AI. The problem is when you get people just completely misrepresenting their skill set, and that's
Horrible.
where it becomes like a huge issue. And so regardless of anything, if you are using AI to misrepresent anything, that is a problem. My mission, and I
We
say
made
it,
that mistake.
we
We
all
made that
have,
mistake.
because you go to masterminds
Yeah.
and everyone's talking about how they're using AI to like fire their whole team and like it's awesome, and be careful. Like it's awesome and be careful, because now everyone understands, or at least a lot of people understand AI. A year ago, people could still be duped. Now, some people can still be duped, but it's like everyone just has a giant eyebrow raised right now. And so they're looking, I think the biggest takeaway is people are looking first for a reason to count you out. And if they get anything that just feels even slightly like off, whether they know it or not, they're gone and you've lost them
Gut
forever.
check. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You're 100% right. Okay. So that's number one.
Number one.
Number two.
Number two is that the old school direct response marketing idea of a linear funnel is dead. And I don't mean that people are no longer moving through funnels, because they are, but people are no longer only moving linearly through a funnel, right? So how marketing used to work back in the day when I got started, it was like so simple, right? Someone sees an ad, they click a link, they go to a landing page, they sign up if you have a lead magnet or something, or they purchase a product. And you could pretty confidently say if someone didn't buy in maybe the first 7 days, that they were dead. This like buy, die, or unsubscribe mentality of like, well, if they don't buy from me right away, they're dead. So I'm just going to keep focusing on doing new lead gen, trying to convert them as quickly as possible. And if they don't convert, then they're gone. And that used to be awesome in a lot of ways because you could track so much easier, right? Like you used to hear people talking about like, we're optimizing for the 7-day pixel on Facebook ads or things like that. It was always just like within this short little time window. And it was pretty rare back then, to hear people talk about having a 45 or a 60-day or a 1 year long kind of nurture sequence or email funnel on the back end. And so what's happening now, and this is actually described in a report that Google released, which I think is so worth the read. It's called Decoding Decisions, Making Sense of the Messy Middle. It talks about this phenomenon, which we all as marketers have felt it, where it no longer is a first touch point, first sale, easy to track, understand what's happening in that gap, because the gap is pretty small. Now what's happening is people are seeing a piece of marketing and then they are taking all this time to research and evaluate options and look to see what else everyone else is doing, because no longer is there only one option or solution for what it is you're looking for. There is countless. And because people's distrust is at an all-time high, they're not going to trust the first thing they see. I mean, we've all done this, right? Like we see an ad, at least I do this. I see an ad for a product or a service or a person. I immediately go check out their website, see if it's legit, check out their Instagram page, see if they're legit. I'm not looking to see if they have hundreds of thousands of followers. I'm looking to see, like, are they real? Is this content real? Are there comments from real people? Or is it like the classic, great post, excellent content, like bot type of content? And so what we're seeing now in marketing is that there's this polarization happening between direct response marketing and brand marketing, where they used to be seen as sort of two completely separate things. They are now one and the same, because after someone interacts with a touch point for the first time, they're going and interacting often with your brand across multiple different platforms and places before and if they decide they're going to buy from you. And so where it used to be common knowledge that it would take like 7 touch points, for someone to make a sale. I feel like that number got thrown around all the time, like 7 touch points. Reminds me of that scene from Friends, 7. Now research shows that like a totally cold prospect will take between 20 and 50 touch points before they buy from you. And so if we are trying to track that, it's nearly impossible. In my business, we know that the average person interacts across 4 clickable touch points before they make a sale. But if you count all of the video views and impressions and them scrolling past a post on Instagram or them scrolling past an ad without actually taking a trackable click, then you know that number is like significantly higher. And so it's leaving a lot of marketers who used to really bank on this shorter conversion window in time and tracking attribution to really confidently know what was happening with their marketing. And now essentially that's getting a lot harder. And it's because people are evaluating options while they are deciding whether or not you're the right one for them to buy from, which is why I think content marketing is so important now more than ever before.
Yeah, I think shattering that 7 touches is so important. It's true. We just had a guest on the other day and the magic 7 came up. And I agree that, it's 7 touch points, but you're so right. It's just, you're getting bombarded. You need so many more touch points now.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, you're going to miss out on sales.
Yeah, 100%. And that's, I think, the thing that I hear from a lot of people who have ad agencies is they'll say to me like, oh, Alex, your business model is like a dream come true for ad agencies, because it used to be that you could essentially be a bit of a ghost online and you could have a great offer. And that was enough to make sales through a funnel with Facebook ads. But ad agencies will go to these business owners and say, well, what else are you doing organically to post content and to create content? And if they're saying nothing, it's like it's pushing a cart uphill, because again, it's working against that trust building factor. So it kind of goes back to what we talked about in point 1. And so really figuring out, okay, I know I can't track this, but if I know for sure that people are in this evaluation phase and going through and looking for, where else I'm showing up and if I'm legit and who else is talking about this product and what do the comments say, then even if you can't directly track a ROI on your content, it's ultimately serving a great purpose in terms of trust building. So that's number 2. Number 3 is very closely related to number 2, but I think it's worth talking about, is that all of this is resulting in a much, much longer sales cycle. So because customers are savvier than ever, while they're in that like messy middle, web of complicated touch points, they're exploring and they're evaluating their options. And people, there's a stat that I pulled from 2019, and I would chance a bet that it's significantly longer now, is that people are taking 9 days longer on average to make a purchase in 2019 than they were in 2015. And that's because people are taking that time to evaluate options. In fact, when you look at the Google search history of the keyword cheap versus the keyword best, worldwide search for the keyword best has far outpaced cheap. So cheap used to be the most important thing that people were kind of looking for. But now, obviously as a product creator or a business owner, cheap is a race to the bottom. So the good news for us is that people are no longer only looking for cheap, they're looking for the best. And that keyword best, the search volume has gone up significantly for that. And it's because they want the internet, Google to tell them what is the best option for me. So they're constantly searching and weighing options. And what they're doing in that longer sales cycle is they're just watching and they're waiting and they're seeing what you're going to do. At the Copy Posse, we actually used to have a 46-day sales cycle where it took 46 days for a customer to make a purchase. And that's because our lowest ticket product was $97. In this last year, we've actually shortened it by half to 28 days because we launched a few lower ticket products just to get people sort of into our world and understanding what it is that we're all about. But I think it's so important to remember that if you're only looking at the success of your marketing in that short time frame and not focusing on how you can convert leads and lurkers who have been watching you for maybe a month or more, then you're massively leaving money on the table to just try to focus on that immediate, like fast buyer, as we call them.
Yeah, that time cycle. Excuse me, I'm still recouping from the cigar event, but that life cycle, if you can tighten that up, it's almost like inventory. When you turn over your inventory, the cash flow is so much better, and the more that you can get those funds in, if you cut it by half, you just eliminated a ton of stress. Yeah. You've got product moving, you've got cash coming in. And even though it might be, you've got people buying your lower ticket item, now they're looking at your brand. As long as that lower ticket item is some value, some good value, then guess what? They're going to buy not only your next up, but probably your next on top of that. Yeah. And like in the marketing game, I've always seen you give something away for free. You do that $49 to $99 product price point, and you go up to the $297 to $497 or $499.
Always a $7.
Then you have your and then you have your big pitch. Yeah. But by doing it with the way that you did that is that you just led a whole bunch of people into the funnel to get them to your next. So you end up making more money. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I used to be opposed to low ticket because I was like, it's so much more valuable than that. Like, oh, like low ticket. And then I realized, like, I get it. You don't know me yet. I get it. You're willing to spend $27, $40. Okay. Like I'll blow your freaking mind for that much. So I think that's the most important thing is get them in and then keep them happy, because it is infinitely easier to turn a repeat customer or a customer into a repeat customer than it is to turn a stranger on the internet into a first-time customer. And to me, that's like the backbone of my entire marketing strategy is if I can get more people into customers quicker, then it's going to be a lot easier to convert those people into the higher ticket than it ever was before. And so I think that's so important. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, before we get into number 4 and number 5, we're at the bottom of the hour. And if you are tuning in for the first time, we do something a little different at the top of the hour, and that's called the Wheel of Kelsey. And that's when our guest gives away a product. So today, what were you planning on giving away, Alex?
Yeah, this is really exciting. I love that you guys do giveaways. And so I've been told that one lucky person on this live stream is going to get a free seat at my upcoming 5-day live challenge. It's happening next week from November 18th to 22nd, and it is all about email marketing. So it's kind of very appropriate to be talking about that actually right now after we just talked about force number 3, which is people are taking longer to buy. I am a huge fan of email marketing. My business is done almost 80% organically through email marketing and content marketing. And so I'm going to be walking you through how to write a high converting email campaign to send to your list so that by the end of the 5 days, you're literally ready to push send and make some sales. And yeah, whoever wins that will get a coupon code to join the challenge free. And you also get lifetime access to all the videos and trainings and resources as well.
All right. That sounds fantastic. So this training, you can get access to it one way, or there's two ways you can sign up for it. But if you want a free seat, it's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you'll get a second entry. So Kels, the next thing we got to do is you have to get into action, flex that finger, and press the button for another sponsor. Hey, Amazon, Walmart, and TikTok sellers, we're in Q4 and I know the pressure's on. So how do you rank higher and sell more during the busiest time of year? Well, as a certified Amazon partner agency, AZ Rank has the expertise and proven strategies to take your projects to the top, driving visibility and sales across all platforms. With a proven expertise in optimizing search rankings, AZ Rank guarantees your products stand out during this critical shopping season. You can email AZ Rank today at hello@azrank.com. That's AZRANK.com. And don't forget to mention the Beard Guy sent you, and that's going to unlock an exclusive discount. So one thing I want to talk about too, just before we get to 4 and 5, email marketing. If you talk to a lot of people in the Amazon space, they think email marketing is dead. And it's not dead. It doesn't even smell funny. It's alive and kicking.
Yeah.
I can tell, like, we do it all the time. We do it with our newsletter. Oh, coffee's coming. There we go. I know Kevin King, he does it all the time with his newsletter. We do it with whatever products we're doing with our brands, with the clients that we have. You make a ton of extra money by doing this, and it's not all promotional. In fact, hardly ever we do it as a promotional. We try to build value with it, either with a newsletter and I'm telling you, the newsletter, this email that goes out, has given me more business than anything, more than the podcast. And I talked to Kevin about it too. And I said, don't you find that strange? And people are opening it up. They're reading it. Even with the SMS, that's another great way to deliver a message. But guys, if you're not doing it, and us as Amazon sellers, we don't. The majority of us do not do any form of emails. We don't know how to do it. We don't know how to track and build a list. So this is probably one of the most recommended thing I can tell you. If you want to actually see your sales go up, I don't know about your figure, but Sean Hart always says it's about 44% extra sales. Do it and understand. And this, even if you're not the winner for this prize today, I would go sign up for whatever Alex is going to be talking about with email marketing and become knowledgeable, become a student of email marketing. All right. Now, number 4.
Yeah. And you keep saying number 4 and 5, and there's only 4. So I'm like, do I need to come up with a 5th secret first? Maybe I'll ask you for your number 5.
All right. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, number 4. Well, actually, a quick note on what you said about email marketing is a lot of people look at me and they're like, oh, you're a creator. I have over 500,000 followers across my channels. Email marketing has brought in 600% more revenue in my business this year than all of my social media channels combined, and that is because of all the reasons we're talking about. People go to social media to make sure you're legit, to get to know you, to make sure that what you're selling is true. But still, to this day, the vast majority of people, Gen Zers, millennials, boomers, everyone across the board prefers to receive business communications from the brands they love via email. And there's a study that says that. I just can't remember which one it is. So yeah, email is crucial. However, this goes into force number 4 is email marketing is important. And so is content marketing, because social is quickly becoming the new search engine. And this boggles my mind when I think about this. Is like, there's no denying, of course, Google is still like number 1. But 24% of consumers, so a quarter of consumers right now, turn to social media to search for answers to their questions. And Gen Zers, which is probably no surprise, that number is 50%. So half of Gen Zers actually go to social to search versus Google or, ChatGPT, which I know people are using now for search. But if you're only relying on, search traffic or paid traffic to come to your offer or your Amazon page or whatever, not only are you missing all of those messy middle opportunities that we talked about with creating touch points and getting people, aware of you and understanding that you're legit and building trust, but you're ignoring a huge number of people who probably wouldn't find you if you weren't posting on social media. And so I think it's really important to integrate social strategy into your marketing. It doesn't mean you have to be a creator like me. It doesn't mean you have to post every single day, but be present on social channels. Use the correct hashtags and keywords so that when people are searching, they're going to find you, or at least a lot more likely to find you.
Right. Okay. So let's just go quickly through the list. So the four major forces of marketing, what are they?
Mistrust in advertising is on the rise. The traditional linear funnel as we know it is dead. People are interacting across way more touch points than a linear funnel. People are taking much longer to buy than they ever did because they're spending that time to evaluate options. And number 4, social media is quickly becoming the new search engine.
All right. Very good. Now let's go back to trust. And you were mentioning that people are looking for the red flags, and that's exactly what's happening with micro brands on Amazon. People go in and they look for the first thing to get them to click off of the one and go to the other competitor. So how do you build the trust?
Yeah, really good question. I think it comes down to, it's a lot of the stuff we already talked about, delivering a phenomenal product or experience for your customers, getting as much social proof and authentic social proof as humanly possible. I guess with Amazon, that would be reviews, but any type of social proof that you can get is incredible. Non-incentivized UGC is amazing. I use a tool called Video Ask, which is a part of Typeform, which allows you to essentially get people to submit video responses to your questions. And so it's an incredible way to do some video UGC. I use this in my business where I will email my past students or customers and say, I'm looking to feature some students on my social media. Fill out this form. They submit a video and give consent for me to be able to use that in my marketing. And I think most importantly is remembering, with all of the new tools and AI and strategies that are available to you to streamline your business, something that I really like to say, and I think this leads into sort of the last point we were going to talk about, is how to use AI, is coming up with a policy of how you will use AI in your business. So for me, I got really clear that I love AI. I'm going to use it to deliver the same quality results and content that I can quickly, but not compromise on the end product. I'm going to use it to make my content more accessible, whether that means translation, whether that means quickly editing content, to pull clips, making it more accessible to more people. And probably the most important thing is, for me and my company, I always think we use AI to keep our promises to our customers, not to try to represent something that isn't, or use it to replace any sort of real human interaction, which is so, so important, I think, in trust building.
Okay. I know that we have a bunch of listeners there. I can see you, just so you know, I can see you, but I don't see the comments and the questions. I know this is a hot topic. So I saw Luke wrote something down, but if you have any questions for us, make sure you put it into the comments section. We'll be getting to that probably in about 5 to 7 minutes. So if you have any questions or comments, please let us know. And remember, even if you think it's a rookie question, you might ask it, and 50% of the audience is going to say, oh, thank God they asked that question. So just go ahead and ask it. All right. Now, what about, like, we're putting together AI, and I get it. I do a lot with AI right now. But as for copy, and this is where, you remember earlier on in the podcast, I said, man, I got nailed with this.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah, I wanna
we
hear
had
that
one of
story.
our, we had one of our creators who was very good with written copy. However, they decided that they were going to use AI. I didn't check their work. Usually, Kelsey can whip through and take it, or I'll take a quick look at it, but they published without our approval. Oh my God. It was the worst. It wasn't in my tone. It looked like it was coming from somebody who the only thing that they can talk about is
Tongue twister.
yes. Oh my God, it's slipping me right now. There's a big smoke still on my head, but it just something that nobody could understand.
Right.
And it was word after word after word. And it was not even at a master's level. It was just, it didn't make any sense. So we got it out there, and people are responding like, you didn't write this. No, I didn't. I don't even know what some of these words mean. so,
Right.
and we had to put in a policy right away that none of this happens. Like, we are a content company. We were a press release company, and we were doing content marketing, and our
Mhm.
writers had to, if they're going to use AI, which we could tell, they have to, everything has to still go through our editor to make sure it has our tone.
Yeah.
And it came back to bite us.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, like, tone is important, but also, like, AI is a generative tool, meaning it makes shit up. And so that creative ability is awesome, except if you're trying to present factual information and you want to make sure that it's in alignment with all what you think, what you believe, what's true, what's factual. And so, yeah, I've heard a lot of horror stories like this. And here's the thing, like, I think AI is such an amazing tool. I always say it's a tool, not a takeover. I'm a copywriter, and I think a lot of copywriters were shaking in their boots for a while there with AI. But when you understand that copywriting is marketing, and understanding your market and human psychology and conversion principles and persuasion principles, just with the added ability of then you also know how to write the words to then communicate that. If you try to use AI to do all of that from scratch and you're not applying what you as smart business owners know, then that's when things can go completely off the rails. And I know it seems impressive when you're putting in these prompts and it's outputting all of this stuff. You think, oh my God, my life just got so much easier. But the problem is, if you're not thinking about it critically, and if you're not thinking, how is this going to be received by my customers? Because again, like, we need to stop treating our customers like they're idiots. I think that's the biggest mistake that business owners make, is we think that they're not paying attention and we think they're not going to notice the difference. They notice. Whether they don't know exactly what it is that's kind of turning them off, they can feel it. They're like, oh, something about that blog post that Norm wrote or whatever is freaking weird. I don't know. Like, that could break trust. And again, like I said, they're looking for a reason to count you out. So, don't treat your customers like they're idiots. They're smarter than us most of the time. And we need to make sure that we're giving them what they came for, or else we'll lose them forever.
Multisyllabic.
So I don't even know what that means. What does that mean, Norm?
Big words.
Multisyllabic. So like syllables?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my
So,
God. So
I'm used
complex
to
words. Yeah.
dog, cat, get, one syllable.
Well, and so
No
are
more than two.
90% of our audience, like, even if you have a master's education, we like to read simple language. Like, keep it simple.
The truth is, between, like, and this is crazy, but it's established. It's grade 6, 7. And if you go beyond that, you'll start to see fall off. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you've seen any other facts, but grade 6 and 7 is where
Yeah,
you,
grade 6 and 7.
yeah.
Unless you're like a doctor whose audience is doctors,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you know for a fact that your audience baseline education is a master's and above or whatever, like then that's different. But on average,
Yeah.
if you're just, if your audience is just people, on average it is 6 and 7.
Yep.
I see we have a
That's what
question
people like to read.
from Cool
Oh,
Hen.
we'll
He
get
says,
to that in one
yeah,
second.
okay. I'm
But,
jumping the gun.
So keeping on the AI topic, let's talk about, and we've been touching on it the whole time, but it's lacking. It hallucinates. What can you do to start marketing around that? Because you can publish. I don't know. Did you hear about this? The guy with the mushrooms. He
Wait.
published a book through AI on mushrooms,
Yeah.
and he put the wrong information because he didn't check the work, and
Right.
people started dying because they were eating the wrong mushrooms. And now, like, he's got some major lawsuits on his hand. But this is how serious it can be. Maybe not killing people, but killing your business because you're publishing the wrong information.
That's
So
scary.
this is something that you have to look through when you're working with AI. So what are some of these things? How can we change some of the things so we're getting better AI?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many different prompts you can use, and the more information you feed it, the better. So when I use AI, I always like to start with telling AI who I am, what I do, and who my customer avatar is, and how I help them. And specifically, I help people who are challenge, looking to achieve benefit. The more you can feed them the correct language, AI, the correct language, the better output you're going to get. And so when I do use it, I'm really using it a lot for foundational frameworking, ideation. I just did a training earlier today where I entered some prompts to help generate like 125 different social content ideas for a business owner that I was doing a hot seat with. And a handful, I would say more than a handful of them are really great, right? You're like, as a subject matter expert, she was looking at these topics and going, that's a really good topic. Great. Now I know what I want to say about that. And so I think where we get in trouble is when we start outsourcing everything to AI, meaning I'm no longer a subject matter expert, or I'm not a subject matter expert and I'm going to pretend to be one and just use AI. Like in the case of this mushroom guy, that's when it really is, to me, a race to the bottom, because you're competing against every other Joe Schmo, on the internet who thinks they're going to game the system by using AI to create a whole business, and that's going to work. And it will, maybe in the short term, but again, it's a race to the bottom. And so if you are using AI, use it as a way to spark new ideas that then, unlock a new dimension in your own brain to take you down a path that maybe you hadn't thought of before, and make sure that you're not compromising your genius, skills, abilities, knowledge, and saying something that you don't actually mean, or saying something that's not true.
Okay, very good. Kels, let's get to the first question.
All right. So yes, our question from CoolHand99. I've used some fantastic prompts from Mike, Better Than Rich, to get GPT to really speak in my voice. How much editing versus just proofreading should I really be doing?
I mean, my answer is it totally depends. Again, like, if you think everything is spot on and it's accurate and it's something that you would say, then use it. But if you're just kind of going, I don't know, it sounds good, I think I'll use it, then I think that's the problem. I think you need to know whether or not something is right or wrong, or on brand or not. And that's what sets real business owners apart from people who are just using ChatGPT to create more crappy content. So totally up to you, as long as it sounds good and you're like, yep, that's what I would say, and I feel confident putting my name on that. Great.
Yeah, I mean, if you can add, 10 or 20%, great.
Right.
It's also looking for, that human content as well, and it can
100%.
tell. So, yeah, I think that's it. We only had one question today, Kels, is that right?
We had another comment from Kohan saying the info in this episode is really quite eye-opening and definitely gets my brain going.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay. So this is the last time anybody can enter the Wheel of Kelsey, hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, or tag 2 people. You get a second entry and great prize. So if you like the information you heard today, you're going to love the information that Alex is going to be talking about with her email campaign event. It's a challenge for 5 days. So it's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you get a chance to win. If you don't win, you can always sign up. And like we were talking about throughout this whole episode, email marketing is so important. If you're not doing it, and a lot of us aren't, you're missing out. You're leaving profit on the table. Okay, so Kels, am I missing anything? I know. How do I get Alex's information? That's what I missed out on.
Yes.
Okay, Alex, how do we get a hold of you?
Best place to reach me is I love to hang out and connect with people on Instagram. My handle is Alex Cattoni, my first and last name. I also have Copy Posse on Instagram, and you can check out my YouTube channel. That's just my name, Alex Cattoni.
All right, fantastic. Kels, let's go to the wheel.
Yes, and Alex, I know it's tight for time, so if you got to get going, we can talk to you later and catch up with the winner. But thank you for.
I'll wait till you spin the wheel. I have to see. The open loop is killing me.
All right. Okay.
Start, scale, exit, repeat. I'm Colin C. Campbell, and I've started over a dozen multi-million-dollar companies in the last 30 years. I spent the last 10 years writing the book, Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat, to figure out what it is that these serial entrepreneurs do over and over again. We interviewed over 200 people. We created 58 chapters, over 30 illustrations, 180 callouts, and we quite frankly made this book for the ADHD entrepreneur. It's been #1 on Amazon in 15 categories and has won 12 awards globally. Get your book today, either on ebook, paperback, hardcover, or Audible on Amazon or your favorite bookstore.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right. Now let's get ready. Who's going to be that lucky person?
All right. So if you're the winner, please email me k@lunchwithnorm.com, and we'll get you your hot seat or your seat. And
Luke.
it looks like Cool Hand 99 is the winner. So congratulations, Luke. Just email me and we'll set you up with your giveaway, your prize.
All right. Alex,
Awesome.
It's been such a pleasure to have you on. I'm glad we remembered who recommended you. And no, it's super. It's so much information here that you've provided us today. And I hope everybody out there that's listening has enjoyed the show today. Love to have you back on talking about copy, one of my favorite topics. But I know you got to get going as well. So thank you again. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guys.
All right, Kels.
All right.
You know what I forgot to mention? Kevin's going to kill me. Marketing Misfits. Marketing Misfits. We are putting out a Marketing Misfits episode once a week on Tuesdays on YouTube, and then it's on all your major podcast platforms. But we've been getting a lot of really great comments about just everything about it. And if you want to see a really cool picture, I'll be posting it just in my profile. But Kevin and I were in New York the other week, and we got a billboard in Times Square, and you could just check us out. It was a lot of fun going out, having a cigar out in Times Square. But that's it for today, unless you have anything.
I'm just dropping in Alex's YouTube channel and her website, so check that out.
There's Chuck.
Our
long lost Chuck.
Yeah, it's good to see you guys. His face again. It's been a while. Yes, it's been a while, Chuck. Good to see you. And thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure you check out the newsletter. That's lwn.news. And again, I think that's about it. Yeah, I think we covered everything.
Okay, just the last thing on that newsletter. If if you like the newsletter, we've got a lot of positive feedback. Love to get anybody who could recommend it, share it out. And if you have any suggestions about or suggestions about what you like or what to improve, just let us know. And on that note, if you want to join our communities, we've got the podcast, the newsletter, the WhatsApp group, and the Facebook group. We could not do this podcast without you. Kelsey and I always remember that. We always try to deliver some good content for you. So I guess until next Wednesday, we will see you then.
Entrepreneur.